Welcome to the Power of Influence Leadership in Action. This is the podcast that transforms leadership research into practical tools for managers, executives, and founders who want to inspire loyalty, strengthen performance, and build cultures that last. I am Paulette Sterling. I am your host. Today, we're exploring a topic that every leader needs to understand, especially in this era of quiet quitting, burnout, and rapid organizational change. The hidden cost of compliance. You see, on paper, compliance looks good. Task gets done, deadlines are met, people show up. Everything seems good. But beneath the surface, something very different may be happening. Something that quietly erodes performance, culture, and long term success. In this episode, we will help you to understand why doing the job is not the same as commitment and what leaders can do to close that gap. So get ready. I'm speaking to you whether you are in the Caribbean, operating as a leader, or anywhere else in the diaspora or in the major cities of this globe. Let's dive in. Let me take you into a real scenario that could very well be playing out from any Caribbean organization. This is something that I saw during my research as well. A branch manager, let's call her Miss Clark. She prided herself on having a disciplined team. Tasks were completed, reports were submitted on time, customers were served. But something was off. When new initiatives were introduced, the team followed instructions, but without energy, without ownership, and without curiosity. When customers had complex issues, employees did the minimum required and passed the rest along. When problems arose, no one offered solutions. No one volunteered ideas. No one seemed to go beyond the script. One employee described it perfectly. This is what I was told. We do what we're told, nothing more. Wow. Now, let's contrast that with another branch in the same organization. The manager. We'll call him Mr. James. Mr. James had a team that wasn't just compliant, they were engaged. They asked questions, they suggested improvements, they supported each other. They took ownership of customer issues. They cared. So, same organization, same policies, same expectations. But one team was surviving, the other was thriving. So, what's the difference? Commitment. Commitment is the difference. Because you see, compliance is about behavior, commitment is about belief. Let me repeat that. Compliance is about behavior. Commitment is about belief. And belief is what drives excellence. So let me give you some research insights. My ebook highlights a critical distinction. Compliance is transactional. Commitment is psychological. Compliance says, I'll do what you ask because I have to. Commitment says, I'll do what you ask because I believe in it and I believe in us. So, why commitment is not enough? Let me expound on that. Research shows that why compliance is not enough? Let me explain. Research shows that compliance produces short-term results, reduces innovation, increases turnover, weakens resilience, and it creates a bare minimum culture. Employees who are merely compliant, they avoid risk, they avoid responsibility, they avoid initiative, and they avoid ownership. Really, they just do the job, but not the work. So, why commitment matters? Here it is. Because committed employees go beyond the job description. Committed employees support organizational goals. Committed employees show resilience during change. Committed employees deliver better customer experiences. Committed employees strengthen team culture. Committed employees stay longer and contribute more. So, commitment is the difference between I'm here for the paycheck and I'm here because I believe in what we're building. So, what drives the shift from compliance to commitment? My research, the power of influence, and decades of organizational psychology point to one consistent answer: the manager subordinate relationship. Employees interpret the organization through their manager's tone, fairness, communication, influence behaviors, and emotional intelligence. I think I need to repeat that. Employees interpret the organization through their manager's tone, their manager's fairness, their manager's communication, influence behaviors, and emotional intelligence. You see, when leaders rely heavily on pressure, authority, or transactional exchange, they get compliance. However, when leaders use consultation, rational persuasion, collaboration, and inspirational appeal, they build commitment. Because influence behaviors are not just tools, they are signals. Let me tell you why they are signals. They tell employees, you matter. Your voice matters. Your experience matters. Our relationship matters. And those signals shape commitment. Let me give you some practical takeaways. Here are 3 ways to shift your team from compliance to commitment. Number 1, let's replace directives with dialogue. Instead of saying, just do this, try saying, here's the goal. What's the best way for us to achieve it? You see, dialogue builds ownership. Ownership builds commitment. Let's look at a second practical way. Connect task to meaning. People commit to purpose, not instructions. So let's try this. This process helps us reduce errors, it protects our customers, and strengthens our reputation. You see, meaning transforms task into contribution. And the third practical tip I'm giving you to try is let's recognize effort, not just outcomes. So compliance focuses on results. Commitment grows when leaders acknowledge initiative, creativity, collaboration, problem solving, and growth. So let's try saying something like this. I notice how you handle that customer issue with patience and clarity. That reflects who we are as a team. You see, recognition fuels commitment. So, how about trying those 3 or any of those 3 practical takeaways in the week or months to come? So, here's your reflection question for this month. Think about this question. Is my team compliant or committed? Then ask yourself, what behaviors am I seeing that reveal the difference? And be open to think it through with authenticity and just being real. Remember, there is no wrong answer because you want to get to a place where you identify if your team is compliant or committed in order for you to do what's necessary to improve upon your team's level of commitment or level of compliance. So, here is another question I'd love you to ask yourself. What can I do this week to strengthen commitment in one person? Sometimes we don't have to boil the ocean, just start with one. So ask yourself, what can I do this week to strengthen commitment in at least one person? And as always, if you're willing, share your insight on LinkedIn using the hashtag InfluencingAction. Because your reflection might help another leader shift their approach. You see, compliance may keep the lights on, but commitment is what builds legacy. As leaders, our job is not to force compliance, it's to cultivate belief. And so, leader, if today's episode gave you something to think about, may I invite you to subscribe to the Power of Influence Leadership in Action podcast. Share this episode with a leader navigating change and join the Legacy Impact Circle for deeper tools, bonus episodes, and leadership resources. You can find out more from my website, sterlingbusinessmanagement.com. And next month, we'll explore emotional intelligence as influence, the manager's quiet power. I'm looking forward to that episode. Until then, remember, leadership is lived in moments. Choose your moments with intention.